journey into the shadows of the open road in the vast expanse of America's highways and byways, where asphalt stretches endlessly beneath skies painted with stars or shrouded in fog, lies a realm steeped in mystery and dread. These roads, often framed by towering trees, desolate plains, or jagged cliffs, are more than mere conduits for travel. They are corridors to the unknown, haunted by whispers of the past and the lingering presence of those who no longer walk among the living. Welcome to 10 Haunted Roads Where Ghost Sightings Are Common, an exploration into the eerie and unsettling tales that have made these stretches of pavement infamous. Whether you're a skeptic seeking evidence, or a believer eager to delve deeper into the supernatural, this article invites you to embark on a journey through some of the most spine-chilling haunted roads in the world. The allure of haunted roads lies not only in their spectral legends but also in the way they capture our collective imagination. These paths, carved through landscapes both beautiful and barren, carry stories of tragedy, loss, and unexplained phenomena that defy logic and reason. From phantom hitchhikers to ghostly apparitions of long-dead travelers, each road has earned its reputation through decades, or even centuries, of chilling encounters. They serve as reminders that the boundaries between the living and the dead are far thinner than we might like to believe, especially when traveling through places steeped in history and sorrow. What makes these haunted roads particularly compelling is their accessibility. Unlike abandoned asylums or remote forests, these locations are part of our everyday lives, traversed by commuters, truckers, and wanderers alike. Yet, despite their familiarity, they harbor secrets that challenge our understanding of reality. A fleeting glimpse of a shadowy figure in the rearview mirror, the sudden appearance of glowing orbs in the darkness, or the inexplicable sound of footsteps echoing through an empty stretch of highway. These moments transform ordinary drives into journeys into the unknown. As we delve into the stories behind these haunted roads, prepare to be captivated by accounts of ghostly sightings, mysterious disappearances, and inexplicable phenomena that have left even the most hardened skeptics questioning what lies beyond the veil. Each road tells its own tale, weaving together local lore, historical events, and first-hand encounters that blur the line between myth and reality. Whether it's the tragic fate of a young bride, the restless spirit of a murdered traveler, or the haunting echoes of battles long past, these narratives tap into our primal fears and fascinations, reminding us that the open road can lead not only to destinations but also to mysteries that defy explanation. So, buckle up and dim the lights as we venture into the shadows of these haunted highways. Along the way, you'll encounter roads where time seems to stand still, where the air grows heavy with unease, and where the spirits of those who came before linger, waiting to share their stories, or perhaps to warn us of dangers unseen. Whether you're a seasoned traveler, a lover of the paranormal, or simply someone drawn to the darker corners of human experience, this journey promises to leave you with chills running down your spine and questions lingering in your mind. After all, the road ahead is never just a path, it's a portal to the unknown. The legend of Lover's Leap Road, a tragic romance echoing through time nestled deep within the mist-laden hills of Missouri, lies Lover's Leap Road, a winding ribbon of asphalt that cuts through dense forests and overlooks the serene yet foreboding bluffs of the Osage River. This haunting stretch of highway is steeped in a tragic love story that dates back to the early 19th century, when Native American tribes roamed the land and whispered warnings about the cursed path. Today, the road is infamous not only for its breathtaking vistas but also for the spectral figures that are said to haunt its curves, forever bound to the place where their love met its untimely end. The origins of Lover's Leap Road's haunting legend trace back to a tale of forbidden love between two young members of rival tribes. According to local folklore, a brave warrior named Running Deer fell deeply in love with Bright Moon, the daughter of a neighboring tribe's chief. Their romance blossomed in secret, hidden beneath the cover of night and the rustling leaves of the surrounding woods. However, their union was deemed unacceptable by both tribes, whose long-standing feud left no room for reconciliation. Faced with the prospect of being torn apart, the lovers devised a desperate plan to escape their fates. On a moonlit evening, Running Deer and Bright Moon fled to the edge of the towering bluffs overlooking the river below. With their pursuers closing in and no other options left, they chose to leap from the precipice together, hand in hand, rather than face separation or punishment. As legend has it, Their bodies were never found, swallowed by the rushing waters of the Osage River. But their spirits, bound by eternal devotion, remained tethered to the site of their final act of defiance, a testament to the power of love and the weight of tragedy. Modern-day visitors to Lover's Leap Road report eerie encounters that align eerily with the ancient legend. Countless motorists have claimed to see two shadowy figures standing at the edge of the bluff, their silhouettes illuminated faintly by the glow of headlights. Witnesses describe the pair as embracing, their forms flickering like candle flames before vanishing into thin air. Others recount hearing faint whispers carried on the wind, though no one else is visible. Some have even reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness wash over them as they approach the area, as if the anguish of the doomed lovers lingers in the atmosphere. Adding to the road's haunted reputation are the numerous reports of ghostly apparitions appearing directly on the asphalt itself. Drivers navigating the narrow, twisting turns of Lover's Leap Road late at night have described seeing a translucent woman in traditional Native American garb walking slowly along the shoulder. Her expression is said to be one of sorrow, her eyes fixed on some distant point beyond the horizon. In several cases, drivers who stopped to offer assistance found themselves staring into empty space. The figure had vanished without a trace. Similarly, sightings of a male figure clad in buckskin have been reported, often standing motionless near the roadside as if keeping vigil over the landscape. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Lover's Leap Road is the recurring theme of auditory phenomena. Many travelers claim to hear the unmistakable sound of footsteps crunching on gravel, even when no one is physically present. Others describe a low, mournful wail that seems to emanate from the depths of the forest, growing louder as they draw closer to the bluffs. Some interpret this sound as the lament of bright moon and running deer, their voices forever entwined in a song of heartbreak and longing. In rare instances, individuals have reported catching snippets of conversation in an unfamiliar language, believed to be remnants of the tribe's dialects, further cementing the connection between the haunting and its historical roots. Local residents and paranormal investigators have attempted to unravel the mystery of Lover's Leap Road, conducting numerous expeditions and gathering eyewitness testimonies. While skeptics argue that the phenomena can be attributed to environmental factors, such as temperature inversions causing sound distortions or optical illusions created by moonlight filtering through trees, the sheer volume of consistent reports suggests otherwise. Thermal imaging cameras and electromagnetic field detectors deployed during investigations have captured anomalies that defy conventional explanations, lending credence to the notion that something otherworldly resides along this haunted stretch of highway. For those brave enough to visit Lover's Leap Road after dark, the experience is nothing short of surreal. The isolation of the location amplifies every sensation, from the creak of branches swaying in the breeze to the distant hoot of an owl perched high above. It is here, amid the quiet solitude, that the boundary between the living and the dead feels perilously thin. Whether viewed as a cautionary tale of forbidden love or a poignant reminder of humanity's enduring capacity for emotion, the legend of Lover's Leap Road continues to captivate and terrify all who dare to tread its haunted path. As we continue our journey through the most haunted roads in America, let the tragic romance of Lover's Leap Road serve as a haunting prelude to the mysteries that lie ahead. For those who seek thrills, answers, or simply a brush with the supernatural, this road stands as a testament to the timeless power of storytelling, and the ghosts that refuse to fade into oblivion. The Phantom Hitchhiker of Route 44, a ghostly companion on the open road among the myriad haunted roads crisscrossing the United States, few evoke as much fear and fascination as Route 44 in Connecticut. Known colloquially as the Road of Death, this stretch of highway has become infamous for its eerie encounters with a spectral hitchhiker, a ghostly figure whose appearances have left countless drivers shaken and questioning the nature of reality. The legend of the Phantom Hitchhiker of Route 44 is a chilling blend of urban myth and first-hand accounts, rooted in local history and perpetuated by the unexplainable phenomena reported along its desolate miles. The origins of the Phantom Hitchhiker legend are murky, but many attribute its inception to a series of tragic accidents that occurred on Route 44 during the mid-20th century. One of the earliest documented incidents dates back to the 1950s, when a young woman named Mary was reportedly struck and killed by a speeding vehicle while attempting to cross the road near the town of Plainfield. Though details of her life remain sparse, locals claim she was a frequent traveler on Route 44, commuting to work or visiting friends in nearby towns. Her untimely death left an indelible mark on the community, and soon after, rumors began circulating that her spirit still wandered the highway, seeking help or vengeance. Eyewitness accounts of the phantom hitchhiker paint a vivid and unsettling picture. Late-night drivers traveling alone along Route 44 have reported spotting a solitary figure standing on the side of the road, often dressed in tattered clothing reminiscent of another era. The hitchhiker appears pale and gaunt, their features obscured by shadows cast from the dim glow of streetlights or headlights. Those who stop to offer assistance describe a chilling moment of interaction. The figure approaches the vehicle hesitantly, their movements slow and deliberate, before climbing silently into the passenger seat. What follows is a surreal conversation, or lack thereof, as the hitchhiker speaks in cryptic phrases or remains eerily silent, their presence radiating an aura of profound sadness. One of the most harrowing encounters comes from a truck driver named John Carter, who recounted his experience in a 1983 interview with a local newspaper. According to Carter, he picked up a hitchhiker near the intersection of Route 44 and Route 12 around midnight. The man appeared disheveled and spoke in a monotone voice, asking to be taken to a gas station several miles away. As Carter drove, he noticed the hitchhiker's reflection in the rearview mirror seemed distorted, almost translucent. When he glanced back to ask a question, the seat was empty. Startled, Carter pulled over and searched the area but found no trace of his mysterious passenger. Days later, while recounting the incident to a friend, Carter learned that the description of the hitchhiker matched that of a man who had died in a car accident on the same stretch of road decades earlier. Other accounts echo similar patterns, with slight variations depending on the witness. Some drivers claim the hitchhiker disappears abruptly upon reaching their destination, often leaving behind personal belongings such as scarves or gloves, an odd memento that serves as proof of the encounter. Others describe the hitchhiker vanishing mid-journey, sometimes accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature or the sound of disembodied laughter echoing through the cab of the vehicle. In one particularly disturbing case, a family reported picking up a hitchhiker who directed them to a secluded area off the main road. When they arrived, the figure instructed them to get out of the car, only to vanish into thin air, leaving the family stranded in the middle of nowhere. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to Route 44, hoping to uncover the truth behind the phantom hitchhiker legend. Armed with thermal cameras, audio recorders, and electromagnetic field detectors, teams have conducted numerous expeditions along the highway, capturing intriguing evidence that defies easy explanation. Footage from infrared cameras has revealed humanoid shapes moving along the roadside at night, while audio recordings have captured faint whispers and unintelligible murmurs seemingly originating from empty spaces. Despite these findings, skeptics argue that the phenomena could be attributed to psychological factors such as pareidolia, the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns in random stimuli, or environmental conditions creating optical and auditory illusions. Local historians offer alternative theories, suggesting that the phantom hitchhiker may be linked to the broader history of Route 44. During the colonial era, the road served as a vital trade route connecting settlements across New England. Over the years, it became notorious for banditry, murders, and unexplained disappearances, earning its grim nickname. Some believe that the hitchhiker represents not just one individual but a composite of souls lost along the highway, their collective energy manifesting as a single, enigmatic figure. This interpretation aligns with Native American beliefs about haunted roads, which often view them as pathways where the spirits of the dead linger, unable to move on due to unresolved trauma or unfinished business. Regardless of its origins, the phantom hitchhiker of Route 44 continues to captivate imaginations and instill fear in those who traverse its haunted miles. The legend taps into primal fears of isolation, vulnerability, and the unknown, amplified by the stark beauty of the Connecticut countryside. At night, the road transforms into a stage for the supernatural, where shadows dance and whispers drift on the wind, inviting, or perhaps warning, travelers to look closer at what lies beyond the veil. For those bold enough to drive Route 44 under the cover of darkness, the experience is both exhilarating and unnerving. Every turn becomes a potential encounter, every flicker of movement a possible sighting. And while some dismiss the stories as mere folklore or exaggeration, others swear by their authenticity, pointing to the consistency of the accounts and the tangible sense of unease that permeates the area. Whether viewed as a genuine paranormal phenomenon or a product of collective imagination, the phantom hitchhiker remains an enduring symbol of the mysteries that lurk along America's haunted highways, a ghostly companion forever wandering the open road. The Devil's Tree, a sinister sentinel on Clinton Road deep within the dense woodlands of West Milford, New Jersey, stands a gnarled and twisted tree known locally as the Devil's Tree. This ominous landmark, situated along the notoriously haunted Clinton Road, has become a focal point for countless tales of terror and despair. Widely regarded as one of the most sinister sights in the region, the Devil's Tree is steeped in dark legends that intertwine witchcraft, demonic pacts, and tragic deaths. Its very presence seems to emit an aura of malevolence, drawing thrill-seekers, skeptics, and the curious alike to test their courage against its reputed curse. The origin of the Devil's Tree legend is shrouded in mystery, with multiple accounts contributing to its macabre reputation. One popular version claims that the tree was once used as a gallows during colonial times, serving as the site of public executions for criminals and accused witches. According to this narrative, the condemned were hanged from its thick branches, their final cries of anguish embedding themselves into the bark and soil below. Over time, the tree absorbed the negative energy of these executions, transforming into a conduit for evil forces. Locals whisper that the spirits of those who died there remain trapped within its roots, their restless souls fueling the tree's dark reputation. Another variation of the legend attributes the tree's sinister nature to a pact with the devil himself. As the story goes, a farmer desperate to save his failing crops made a deal with Satan, offering his soul in exchange for prosperity. The devil, ever cunning, demanded a blood sacrifice to seal the agreement. The farmer reluctantly complied, spilling his own blood at the base of the tree. From that day forward, the tree flourished unnaturally, its branches spreading wide and its trunk growing thicker than any other in the forest. However, the farmer's success came at a terrible cost. He was plagued by misfortune, madness, and ultimately, a violent death. Some say his tormented spirit now haunts the tree, guarding its cursed grounds against intruders. Modern-day encounters with the Devil's Tree paint a picture of relentless horror and inexplicable phenomena. Visitors describe feeling an immediate sense of dread upon approaching the site, as if an invisible force presses down on their shoulders. The air grows colder, the silence oppressive, and the scent of decay fills their nostrils. Many report seeing strange symbols carved into the tree's bark, symbols that seem to shift or rearrange when observed too closely. Others claim to hear faint whispers emanating from the tree, voices speaking in languages they cannot understand but feel compelled to heed. The Screaming Tunnel, whispers of despair beneath the earth. Nestled in the rural outskirts of Niagara Falls, Ontario, lies a decrepit stone tunnel that has earned its place among the most haunted roads in North America. Known as the Screaming Tunnel, this unassuming passage carries with it a legacy of tragedy and despair, its very name evoking the eerie cries said to echo from its depths. To those who dare to venture inside, the tunnel is not merely a relic of engineering but a vessel of sorrow, where the walls themselves seem to absorb the anguish of those who suffered within its confines. The Screaming Tunnel's haunting reputation stems from a harrowing tale of fire, loss, and unrelenting grief, a story that has become synonymous with the screams that purportedly reverberate through its damp, moss-covered stones. The origins of the Screaming Tunnel legend are rooted in a tragic event that unfolded in the early 20th century. According to local lore, the tunnel was once part of a railway system that connected farms and villages in the region. In the 1920s, it became the site of an unspeakable horror when a young girl and her father were caught in a devastating fire that destroyed their nearby home. The girl, barely a teenager, was said to have been playing outside when the blaze erupted, consuming everything in its path. Her father, desperate to save her, carried her limp, charred body into the tunnel, where he collapsed in grief-stricken despair. Unable to endure the pain of his loss, he took his own life beside his daughter's remains, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable devastation. It is said that their anguished cries, her screams of agony and his howls of sorrow, became embedded in the very fabric of the tunnel, forever trapped in its cold, hollow embrace. Visitors to the Screaming Tunnel describe an overwhelming sense of unease as they approach its entrance. The structure, constructed of limestone bricks, appears deceptively ordinary at first glance. Yet, as one steps inside, the atmosphere shifts dramatically. The air grows thick and humid, carrying with it the faint scent of earth and decay. Daylight filters weakly through cracks in the ceiling, casting uneven shadows that dance across the walls like phantoms. It is here, in the suffocating darkness, that the true terror begins. Many claim to hear faint, high-pitched wails emanating from deep within the tunnel, growing louder and more frantic the farther one ventures. These sounds, often described as the cries of a child or the moans of a grieving parent, seem to come from nowhere and everywhere at once, bouncing off the curved walls in a cacophony of despair. The Screaming Tunnel's reputation as a hub of paranormal activity has attracted thrill-seekers and paranormal investigators alike, each hoping to capture evidence of its haunted nature. One of the most widely shared rituals involves lighting a match inside the tunnel and making a wish. According to legend, if the flame extinguishes immediately, the wish will come true, but at a terrible cost. Participants have reported feeling icy gusts of wind rush past them, snuffing out the flame before they could complete their request. Others claim that the extinguished match is followed by a sudden, deafening scream, as though the tunnel itself reacts violently to the intrusion. Videos posted online purport to document these occurrences, showing matches flickering and dying inexplicably, accompanied by chilling audio of distant shrieks and guttural growls. Photographic evidence adds another layer of intrigue to the Screaming Tunnel's haunted lore. Images captured within its confines often reveal strange anomalies. Blurry figures standing just out of focus, glowing orbs hovering near the ceiling, or shadowy silhouettes pressed against the walls. Infrared cameras have detected heat signatures in areas where no living person should be, while electromagnetic field meters have recorded erratic fluctuations inconsistent with natural causes. These findings have led some researchers to speculate that the tunnel acts as a portal of sorts, channeling residual energy from the tragic events that transpired there. Others suggest that it may be a hotspot for poltergeist activity, with the spirits of the girl and her father continuing to relive their final moments in an endless loop of torment. The Ghost Bride of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, a haunting presence on Midnight Lane in the quiet suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, lies a secluded dirt road known as Midnight Lane. A narrow passage that winds its way through dense woods and leads to one of the most haunted cemeteries in America, Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. This forgotten burial ground, nestled amidst overgrown grass and crumbling tombstones, is infamous not only for its eerie atmosphere but also for the spectral figure that haunts its grounds, the Ghost Bride. Her tragic story, interwoven with the cemetery's storied past, has become a cornerstone of local legend, drawing thrill-seekers, paranormal investigators, and the curious to its shadowy expanse. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery dates back to the mid-19th century, originally serving as the final resting place for pioneers and settlers who once called the area home. Over time, however, the cemetery fell into disrepair, neglected by the community and overtaken by nature. Vandalism further marred its sanctity, with gravestones toppled, broken, or stolen, leaving behind a patchwork of ruin. Yet, it was not the physical decay that cemented the cemetery's reputation as a hotspot for the supernatural. It was the stories of restless spirits that refused to fade with the passage of time. The legend of the Ghost Bride centers on a young woman whose life ended tragically before she could walk down the aisle. According to local lore, she was set to marry her fiancé in the early 20th century, but fate intervened cruelly. On the eve of her wedding, the bride-to-be was involved in a fatal car accident while traveling along Midnight Lane to visit her beloved. Her body was discovered near the cemetery gates, her white gown stained crimson from the wreckage. Heartbroken family members buried her in Bachelor's Grove, her dreams of matrimony unfulfilled, her spirit tethered to the place where her life was cut short. Decades later, reports of ghostly sightings began to emerge, with the Ghost Bride becoming the cemetery's most iconic apparition. Eyewitness accounts describe a translucent figure clad in a flowing white dress, her face veiled and obscured by shadows. She is often seen wandering aimlessly among the tombstones, her movements slow and deliberate, as if searching for something, or someone, lost to her. In some instances, the ghost bride appears seated on a weathered bench near the center of the cemetery, her head bowed in sorrow. Strangely, no such bench exists in reality, adding to the mystery of her ethereal presence. Midnight Lane, the road leading to the cemetery, serves as a threshold between the mundane and the supernatural. Drivers who traverse its winding path late at night report encountering the ghost bride standing in the middle of the road, her arms outstretched as if pleading for help. In one chilling account, a motorist claimed to have slowed his vehicle to avoid hitting her, only for her figure to vanish into thin air as he approached. Others describe hearing faint sobs or the sound of rustling fabric emanating from the darkness, though no visible source can be found. The lane itself seems to amplify these sensations, its isolation and overgrown foliage creating an atmosphere of oppressive stillness. Paranormal investigators have flocked to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, drawn by the promise of documenting the ghost bride's elusive presence. Armed with thermal cameras, audio recorders, and electromagnetic field detectors, teams have captured intriguing evidence that defies easy explanation. Photographs taken within the cemetery often reveal a semi-transparent figure draped in white, standing amidst the graves or floating above the ground. For those brave enough to venture onto Midnight Lane and into Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, the experience is nothing short of surreal. The isolation of the location heightens every sensation, from the crunch of gravel beneath tires to the distant hoot of an owl perched high in the trees. As visitors step into the cemetery, the air grows heavier, charged with an intangible energy that seems to pulse through the ground. Shadows lengthen unnaturally, and the faint scent of roses, despite the absence of flowers, lingers in the breeze. It is here, amid the ruins of a forgotten past, that the ghost bride reveals herself, a haunting reminder of love lost and dreams unfulfilled. As our exploration of haunted roads continues, the ghost bride of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery stands as a testament to the timeless allure of spectral legends. Her presence along Midnight Lane encapsulates the themes of tragedy, devotion, and the unyielding pull of the afterlife that defines so many of these haunted tales. For those who choose to tread her path, she offers not just a glimpse into the supernatural but a confrontation with the fragility of human existence, and the echoes of love that refuse to fade. The Weeping Woman of White Rock Lake, a haunting reflection on Garland Road amid the sprawling expanse of Dallas, Texas, lies a stretch of road that has become synonymous with one of the most enduring and heart-wrenching ghost stories in American folklore. Garland Road, which skirts the serene shores of White Rock Lake, is haunted by the spectral figure of a woman whose sorrow transcends time and space. Known as the Weeping Woman, her tragic tale of loss and longing has captivated the imaginations of locals and visitors alike, transforming this otherwise peaceful thoroughfare into a corridor of spectral encounters and chilling whispers. The legend of the Weeping Woman traces its origins to the early 20th century, when White Rock Lake was a popular recreational destination for families and picnickers. According to the most widely accepted version of the story, a young mother named Eloise Tobin lived near the lake with her husband and infant son. One fateful summer afternoon in 1936, Eloise and her baby boy boarded a small boat for a leisurely outing on the water. However, a sudden storm swept across the lake, capsizing the vessel and plunging both mother and child into the frigid depths. While rescuers managed to recover Eloise's body, her son was never found, his tiny form swallowed by the murky waters. Consumed by grief and guilt, Eloise's spirit is said to have returned to the lake, where she wanders endlessly in search of her lost child. Her spectral form, clad in a dripping white dress, is often seen walking along Garland Road, her face obscured by a veil of tears. Witnesses describe her as emitting an aura of profound sadness, her anguished cries carried on the wind as she pleads for help in finding her missing son. Some claim to have spotted her standing at the edge of the road, gazing longingly toward the lake, while others report seeing her gliding across the surface of the water itself, her feet skimming the waves as if suspended between worlds. Garland Road, the primary route encircling White Rock Lake, serves as both a gateway and a stage for these haunting encounters. Drivers traveling along its winding path late at night have reported sudden drops in temperature, their breath visible in the chilled air despite the warmth of Texas summers. Headlights often illuminate a solitary figure walking along the shoulder, her movements slow and deliberate, as if weighed down by an invisible burden. Those who stop to offer assistance find themselves staring into empty space. The woman vanishes without a trace, leaving behind only the faint scent of wet earth and the lingering echo of her sobs. The weeping woman's presence is not confined to visual sightings alone. Auditory phenomena are equally prevalent, with many travelers claiming to hear faint crying or the sound of splashing water emanating from the darkness. In some cases, the cries escalate into piercing wails, causing drivers to pull over in distress, convinced they are witnessing a real emergency. Upon investigation, however, no source of the noise can be found, and the road remains eerily deserted. These auditory experiences add another layer of complexity to the legend, blurring the line between natural and supernatural occurrences. Photographic evidence further cements the weeping woman's reputation as a spectral guardian of White Rock Lake. Images captured along Garland Road often reveal strange anomalies: glowing orbs hovering near the water's edge, shadowy figures standing motionless in the distance, or even full-bodied apparitions draped in shimmering white. Infrared cameras deployed during paranormal investigations have detected significant thermal fluctuations in areas where the weeping woman is said to appear, suggesting the presence of an unseen energy source. Similarly, electromagnetic field meters register erratic spikes, indicating possible interactions with forces beyond human comprehension. Local historians and paranormal researchers have attempted to unravel the mystery of the weeping woman, piecing together fragments of history and eyewitness testimony to construct a cohesive narrative. While some skeptics argue that the phenomena can be attributed to environmental factors, such as temperature inversions causing sound distortions or mist rising from the lake creating optical illusions, the sheer volume of consistent reports challenges this perspective. Furthermore, the emotional resonance of the legend, coupled with its ties to real historical events, lends credence to the possibility that Eloise Tobin's spirit truly lingers at White Rock Lake, forever bound to the place where her tragedy unfolded. For those brave enough to visit Garland Road after dark, the experience is both mesmerizing and unnerving. The isolation of the location amplifies every sensation, from the rustle of leaves in the breeze to the distant hum of frogs calling to one another. As drivers navigate the curve of the road, their headlights slicing through the gloom, the anticipation builds. A fleeting glimpse of movement, a sudden chill, or the unmistakable sound of sobbing could herald an encounter with the weeping woman. Whether viewed as a genuine supernatural phenomenon or a product of collective imagination, her presence along Garland Road serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of maternal love. Urban legends surrounding the weeping woman have evolved over the decades, incorporating new elements that reflect changing societal fears and anxieties. Modern retellings often emphasize themes of abandonment and neglect, portraying her as a victim of circumstance rather than a malevolent force. Some versions depict her as a protector of the lake, warning trespassers of its dangers, while others cast her as a vengeful spirit, punishing